Mikey Garcia says he noticed he's at a disadvantage at 140, so how could he possibly make 147 to face Errol Spence? Stay tuned. Coming up next.
Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Mikey Garcia does an interview and says that he feels that he's at a disadvantage when he fights at 140. But Mikey Garcia has been on the record as of late, in pretty much every interview he does, everywhere he goes, every time there's a microphone or camera in his face, and he says that he wants to fight Errol Spence Jr. in the very near future, if not next, after should he get past Robert Easter Jr. But my thing is this: how could Mikey Garcia possibly be looking to fight Errol Spence Jr. at 147 when he says he feels that he's at a disadvantage at 140? Says he's most comfortable at 135. He definitely feels the weight difference when he fights at 140. Errol Spence is a big 147 pounder. So to me, this is putting this is giving yourself an excuse should you lose to Errol Spence Jr. This is giving you a built-in excuse, right? Here's what Mikey Garcia had to say, and you can go check out this article on Boxing Scene, boxingscene.com. He says, "Yes, I'm comfortable. We had, like I said, a long camp with 9 weeks. And the right eating, the right diet allows me to be able to fluctuate in weight and come back down to 135. I feel strong, I feel fast, I feel very healthy," Garcia said. Garcia feels that his speed and power is there at 135 or 140, but he feels that he's at a less of a disadvantage when competing at 135. So he's feeling like he's at an advantage when he fights at 135. That's typically because he's probably most likely the bigger man, which equals him to be the stronger man in most cases, and he's very technical. So of course he feels comfortable at 135 because he has all the advantages. 9 times out of 10 he's going to be the bigger man in the ring, right? So here he goes. He says at 140 he has to fight with opponents who are naturally bigger and rehydrate very heavy on fight night. Now, if you guys don't know, Mikey Garcia himself rehydrates pretty high on fight night when he fights at 135. Even when he was fighting at 130, he was ballooning up in weight. So he was always having the advantage. Like I said, that's why he's comfortable and feel like he has the advantage when he fights at 135 because he balloons up in weight. Bigger than natural 130, most likely 130 pounders who fight at 135 or 35 pounders who are naturally 135 pounders, right? He says, "Well, I feel comfortable at both divisions. I feel fast and strong in either division. But I do feel that I'm at a disadvantage when I'm fighting at super lightweight, 140 pounds. Those guys are naturally bigger and carry more weight. But I feel the same as far as my abilities go, and that's why I am able to fight in both divisions, because I feel fast and strong in either one," Garcia said. Right? But if you're barely you have no advantages at 140, and you just having slight advantages at 135, how could you possibly compete at 147 with arguably the best 147 pounder in the sport of boxing in Errol Spence, and whom many claim to be weight bullying, who's too big for a 147 pound division, and most people claim that he should be fighting at 154. So you looking to take on, like, this goes back to what I said, you know, because he's in a win-win situation for Mikey Garcia, and it's a lose-lose situation for Errol Spence Jr. This is why Mikey Garcia didn't look to compete or call out Terence Crawford's name, because Terence Crawford is a fighter who fought at 130, 135. Errol Spence has not fought at 130, 135, 140. Terence Crawford competed at 130, 135, 140, and now campaigns at 147. So should he have, it would be an equal competition between Michael Garcia and Terence Crawford, who fought in the amateurs, and Terence Crawford won that fight. So Mikey Garcia wouldn't have any built-in excuses should he was to lose to Terence Crawford or get embarrassed by Terence Crawford. He would just have to eat that. Now he would have every excuse in the book should he lose and not be competitive versus Errol Spence Jr. Right? Another thing Mikey Garcia had to say, he said, fighting at lightweight, I think it's more of an even category weight class. Even though my opponent this time around is a lot taller and has a lot of reach, we weigh the same. I don't feel that that's going to be any factor when it comes to fight night, but I feel comfortable. Really, I honestly do feel comfortable in both divisions. And his end quotes with, Garcia has recently stated that he plans to moving up to welterweight limit of 147 in the near future, and he wants to fight with IBF champion Errol Spence Jr. So like I said, right, this is a built-in excuse. So Mikey Garcia is already throwing out excuses should he lose to Errol Spence and gets dominated by Errol Spence, which most predict that would happen. So he's in a win-win situation. Thus the reason why you don't hear Mikey Garcia calling out Terence Crawford, because he knows that Terence Crawford is on an equal playing field with himself, right? Terence Crawford is not much bigger than Mikey Garcia. Errol Spence is much bigger than Terence Crawford and Mikey Garcia. So should he lose to Terence Crawford, he would just have to eat that. His team would just have to eat that. He would just have to chalk it up to Terence Crawford being the better fighter. Should he lose to Errol Spence, he's gonna use the excuses of, well, he dared to be great. He was courageous. He tried to go up 2 weight classes and fight a guy who was much bigger than him, who possibly can make 154. Some even think can make 160. So it's a built-in excuse already. So that's really not daring to be great. That's really a situation where you know you're in a win-win situation. Daring to be great would be taking on Terence Crawford, who's of size, and you fought in the amateurs. You guys have a backstory. And Terence Crawford is arguably #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. That would be daring to be great. That would be daring to take on the best, the absolute best in the sport of boxing, right? So you would jump. You didn't look to fight Terence Crawford when he was at 135. You didn't look to fight Terence Crawford when he's at 140. And now you're still not looking to fight Terence Crawford when he's at 147. But he's a man of your own stature. So this is not daring to be great. This is simply a situation where Mikey Garcia knows he's in a win-win situation and Errol Spence is in a lose-lose situation. Should Errol Spence lose to Mikey Garcia, then everybody's going to say, how did you lose to a guy who was 2 weight classes below you? Should Errol Spence beat Mikey Garcia, the headline is going to be, Errol Spence did what he should have done. Errol Spence will get 0 credit for beating Mikey Garcia, but he would take all the blame for losing to Mikey Garcia. Thus, Mikey Garcia and his team knows this. But Mikey Garcia's team, Robert Garcia and such, they know that Mikey Garcia won't be able to compete with Errol Spence. But Mikey Garcia just wants the title of daring to be great. Does he actually believe that he could beat Errol Spence? Maybe there's a part of him that actually believes that. But this article lets me know that he's already creating a built-in excuse, because he's already claiming that he's at a disadvantage fighting at 140. So if you feel the weight difference and you feel your opponent is much bigger and you feel that you don't have any advantages, you at a disadvantage, how could you possibly go 7 pounds north of that and feel like you would have any chance, any advantages? You wouldn't. You see, it's just that he would get the title of daring to be great. That's all I got for y'all. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Mikey Garcia says he's at a disadvantage at 140 pounds, but feels like he wants to fight Errol Spence, who's arguably the biggest 147 pounder there is, at 147. So he's claiming that he'll go 7 pounds north of 140, where he has a disadvantage, and take on the best 147 pounder. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is, man. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. It's your boy Blue, man. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Blue Blood Sport TV, baby, from the